Welcome back to another episode of the Grunge Bible Podcast. My name is Ethan Shalloway, joined by Chris Solona. We are your hosts. And what is this, 113, Chris? Episode 113?
Episode 113. You've got it.
Yes. We're very excited to offer up another, 30 minutes to an hour. Not sure how long we're going to go tonight, but we're happy to be here. At least I think we are. Chris, how are you tonight?
Yeah, I'm a lot happier now that we've started.
I am too, man.
Yeah, this is it's busy. It's just one of those things, though.
Yep, it's like getting up in the morning.
Getting up in the morning, brushing your teeth.
You don't want to do it, but then once you get up, you're glad you did. But if you get up and go back to bed, you can't do it. You'll be fighting a headache all night.
Yeah,
all day.
Exactly. This is what we do at this point. We cast pods and we talk grunge and we answer people's questions, which is what we're going to do today. I'm really excited for a nice little Q&A, take the pulse of GB Nation, if that's a thing. And that's what we're going to do today. Really jazzed up about that. So this is a very quick turnaround, Ethan, for Grunge Bible Enterprises, Grunge Bible International. We just released episode 112 today, and we're hopping back into the cockpit for another speed run tonight, because you've got some traveling coming up here that is so rudely negatively impacting our recording schedule. But no, it's all good stuff. I'm excited. The javelin season really begins in earnest now.
Yes. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's been on the schedule and we wanted to get ahead, but yet here we are. I leave on Wednesday, so we got to get a recording in. Head into Tucson, Arizona for a competition this Saturday, and then we're going to stay and train a few days, and then fly to LA for a competition at the end of May, last week. So pretty excited. 2 really big meets coming up in the US, and then I'll be able to see our producer Drew out in LA. I think he's going to come to the meet again.
I hope so.
Yeah, he's 1 for 1 already out. I was in LA earlier this year and he came and watched. So
yeah, that's cool. I love Drew.
Yep. So we'll be going for a little bit. So we gotta get the episodes in. So it's exciting. We're back on.
We're back. Nothing can stop us.
Yeah. Let's just get right into it. So we have some people to thank. So
we do have some people to thank.
This is the part of the show where we ask you to support us financially. We have one way to do it, basically, and that's through Patreon. So please take a look in our link in the bio or the show notes, and there is the website link that you can go and give $2, $5, or $10 to show support, add value to our lives, and help us produce this podcast, because it does take money to pay for random stuff like our producer, website domains, yada, yada, all that good stuff. So basically, we need some encouragement to keep doing this. So please go over there and check that out.
Absolutely. It is the most direct way to support us. That is the link. If you could only click on one link and you want us to direct you, that is the one that you want to head over to. Otherwise, we have some merchandise on sale. That's the thing. I mean, a lot of people, a lot of people push merch. We don't really push it. It's there. It's there for those. Some do. Some people click on it, and if you want to represent Grunge Bible, you can head over to that link in the show notes to our store. We've got T-shirts, crew necks, beanies, socks, stickers, which are a big hit. I always love when people purchase some stickers and they show us where they're putting their stickers. I've seen them on guitars, guitar cases. I've seen them on bikes. I've seen them on laptops. I've seen them on cars, all over the place, really. No one has gotten a Grunge Bible tattoo yet. That would be the next domino to fall. Hopefully, maybe by the end of 2023, somebody takes that leap.
That'd be intense.
Yeah.
Would you get it, Chris?
No, absolutely not. I would not. I just got a tattoo.
We're not advising anybody to get one.
No, we're just
spitballing
here. Exactly. And we are not professionals. And
well, you did just get a tattoo, Chris. Let's show it to the people.
I did just get a tattoo. Yeah. So it's over here.
There it is. It's my first time seeing it. And besides the photo,
it's the number 33, and it's got a little cardinal sitting on top. So nice little background for those listening and not watching. It is on my right tricep. It's about 2.5, 3 inches tall, and It is the house numbers to my grandparents' house, the house that they've lived in since 1967. Those numbers have been on adjacent to their front door for certainly as long as I've been alive, and the cardinal sitting on top. And in our family's tradition, my grandfather's mother, my great grandmother, loved cardinals and always used to say that if you saw one, it was a sign of good luck. And when she passed away, before I was born, that tradition kind of changed, where it's like, now you see a cardinal and it's her kind of checking in, and it's a sign that good things are going to come and things are going to be good and things are going to be okay. So I decided to get a little cardinal sitting on top of the 33 for the house number there. And I'm very, very excited about that. I got a nice new tattoo. It's been about a year since I got one. So I was jonesing for one.
Jonesing for it. That's awesome. Papa Murph is an important person in the world and in history. So I'm glad that love hearing it,
Absolutely. And I'm grateful that I get to tell people about it, and segueing back, as I am so good at, I'm able to tell you about my new tattoos because we have people to support this podcast and continue to make it possible. And as we mentioned earlier, leading the way are the top level supporters on Patreon, and those names, those people who choose to support us at that level remain, and they are Fuck Soup, Fresh Tendonitis, Faith Bittner, Granny Grunge, Jade Mercado, Jamie Lynn, Carlene Salona, Chris LSMS, Doug Endy, Eddie Vedder got me through my second divorce, Kara K, Captain Hightop, Brother Nature, Rachel Corning, Nikki Six, Millie, Alex Long, Black Hole Sean, Alexis Shannon, The Blue Owl, Lauren Irene, Marianne, Seattle 4 Fanboy from New Jersey, Shoe the Shoeless, Corden Stewart, What the Fuck's Up Denny's, and Christine Shepard. So thank you once again. Everybody whose name that I've just read, they've been a part of the club for a long time. They're pulling a lot of weight, and I'm very thankful for that.
They absolutely are. They're doing the work of thousands of men and women.
Exactly.
They're holding up literally hundreds of thousands of people.
It's like the great Colossus holding the Atlas stone.
Yeah, exactly. Or was it Perseus, or who's pushing the rock up?
Sisyphus.
Yeah, syphilis.
No, it was not syphilis. he was not pushing the rock, Ethan.
Syphilis.
He was doing something else.
My gosh.
Goodness gracious. This is what happens, Grunge Bible podcasting after dark, but some do.
Some do. And then we have one supporter, or my brother, that we've said on the last two pods, if you've been listening. Grunge Bible is trying to sell a house. And the main thing is my brother, Quinn Shalloway, is the Grunge headhunter. He's a big supporter of the pod, and he cut us a great deal. Basically said that if somebody out there is listening and needs to buy or sell a house, he can get you in contact with the person to do that. If you're in the Philadelphia area, that's where he's based. He can be boots on the ground, and he will get the job done. But in all reality, the man is very knowledgeable, and he knows exactly what is needed to get the job done, get the house sold. So if you're out there listening and you're having a hard time finding a realtor, something like that, please reach out to us and we'll get you in contact with Quinn, or just shoot Quinn Shalloway at gmail.com an email. Tell him that Grunge sent you. And then, if it all works out, you're going to sell your house, make some money. Quinn's going to make some money, and then we're going to make some money. So it works. Win-win.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll tell you, Quinn is the man that you want in your corner. And as I mentioned in a previous episode, though I am not at the crossroads and not about to cross the threshold of purchasing a home quite yet, it is something that I'm working toward. And Quinn has been a great resource for me, just chatting about all things in that realm. He is the ultimate real estate headhunter, and we're signing off on it, and we are endorsing him. So 113 episodes in, that means something. And we like to keep the people that we support close to home, and you don't get much closer to home than your brother Ethan. So we're very thankful for Quinn for his support of us, and we are trying to do the same for him. So he is the man of the hour.
Absolutely. And if you need a podcast produced, go to Drew, tell him we sent you. He's going to cut us a deal when he starts producing other.
He doesn't know it, but he's going to cut us a deal.
Yeah, he'll produce your podcast. He's very expensive though. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
All right, let's get into it.
I wish I could just tell everybody, tell him I sent you, and then just request money from whoever.
Even though that you didn't send them.
Or even though they didn't
Yeah,
you know,
I'll tell
sign
you though,
off
it
on.
does. A couple episodes ago, we were talking about how saying certain phrases feels good. Like, tell them that I sent you. That feels really good to
Oh yeah,
say. Like, tell them I
it
sent
does.
you. He'll give you a really good deal, like your mechanic or something like that. Like,
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
him, you're
Oh,
with me. It's
I
fine.
love it. I love it. And I'm like, no,
Yeah.
seriously, like tell them that I said, like
Mm-hmm.
very sincere about it.
Absolutely. All right, Ethan, I'm going to get right into it, and I have a question for you that comes from the people. This was the first question that came in for the Q&A, and the question is, why didn't Creed play higher at Woodstock 1999?
Hmm. That's a good question. I don't know much about the set list that they were pulling during those times. Was it like, did they always play it? Was it like
I
something that
I believe Woodstock 99 was before that album came out, because that album was September 28th, 1999, and Woodstock was a couple of months prior. So
easy
I'm
answer
not.
would be maybe it wasn't out
Maybe,
yet?
maybe it wasn't out yet, but they had to play "What's This Life For," obviously, and they had Robbie Krieger of the Doors up there, hammering with Tremonti and Stapp and the other individuals of
So
Creed. So
I saw that you were lifting today with some Creed on. I saw you posted about that. What were you jamming to?
yeah, so I started this tradition, if you will, three Mondays ago. I began a new lifting cycle, and Mondays now calls for me to hit a top double in the back squat and then do a couple of back down sets. And Mondays are generally tough for me for squatting for some reason. They always have been, just coming off the weekend. Like, you're a little sluggish, like you don't really have that turnaround in you quite yet, but there's no better way to get into it than diving into the deep end of the pool. So couple 3 weeks ago, I needed some juice, and I was lifting with one of my friends, and I told him, I was like, hey, like, I think I need to break out the Creed, like, to take down this heavy double, and it worked. I listened the first week. I listened to, I think, "What If" by Creed,
Nice.
and then last week I went to Bullets, and then this week I chose for the top double. I used My Sacrifice, naturally, and then for the couple of back down sets, I hit him with Weathered. It was perfect. So a little Creed Monday action, a little
Yeah.
Stapp, to kind of get me going in the squat rack. So
See, we talk about Creed a lot, and as you can tell, like Chris listens on his,
it has utility.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, he does it without being, put on and being, what's the word I'm looking for? Encouraged to listen to it. I mean, that's
and
a part of that's a part
it's
of
not even
life.
the meme. It's a part of
Yes,
life.
that's what I
Exactly.
mean. Like, we genuinely like Creed. So if you're wondering out there, if we're being sarcastic, we're not. They are good.
Absolutely, they are good.
Love talking about Creed on here, to be honest.
Yeah, we
Chris, I got
always
one
love.
for you.
Yeah, let's
Because
hear
I
it.
know your answer. So, well, they have their answer along with the question. So, which is the most underrated grunge band? My opinion is Screaming Trees. Do
Oh
you?
man.
That's what they said. So, do you think that Screaming Trees could be the most underrated band? And it doesn't need. I mean, it could be any band from that time. Do you think that they're underrated?
I think they're really underrated. But selfishly, I'm a Mark Lanigan fan more than I am a Trees fan. So I would sign off on that, if only for the fact that hopefully, by getting people to listen to the Trees, it is a vehicle to get them to check out Mark Lanigan's solo discography, and his solo catalog. Really, really incredible stuff.
The solo catalog is underrated. Is what you're saying?
Oh yeah, it totally is, and the Trees are too. It's always interesting. Like, a lot of Mark Lanigan solo fans tend to not be the biggest Screaming Trees fans, just because Mark was quite vocal about the rest of the band kind of bringing down what he wanted to do, and there were differing levels of respect at different times. So I think a lot of his fans have kind of adopted that to different points, and especially because Mark didn't write a lot of the music and wrote none of the lyrics in the beginning. But it all has its merits, and that's the thing. And we talk about this so often, just how saturated the field was, and the scene was at the time, that there's so many great bands that if they had come out at a different time and place, they would have gotten their due, and they're just, there's just not enough hours in the day, and it doesn't shake down that way sometimes. But another band, I think Love Battery, they got to be up there too. I'm a big Love Battery guy.
That's awesome. That's a good one.
Yeah, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think I would say Dinosaur Jr. is pretty underrated on a
Yeah.
scene. It's tough because we talk about
Because
those,
it's like, are
those
they
bands.
a part of the scene? Exactly. Yeah.
Well, and we talk about these bands to each other, and it's tough to really know but I would say that it could be listened to a lot more and be on higher regard historically. But yeah, it may be a little more adjacent, but I kind of expanded the question. So I think Dinosaur is a little underrated. Maybe Jay Mascis could be a little more, a little more well known and our household name. But it's it's not it wasn't meant to be. It's better at the size they were. You know?
It is interesting because I think for connoisseurs and for guitar players, Jay Mascis is so revered and he's held in such high regard. And it's kind of one of those things that you have to be really close to the music and you have to really, really consume a lot of it, I think, to grow to that level, because a lot of times, like, you're not just exposed to some of the incredible stuff that he was doing. I mean, he was such a revolutionary and he was involved in so many different things and such a creative mind, both writing songs and just soloing and the way that he got his guitar to sound. Somebody that I definitely need to spend more time with too. There's only so many hours in a day, so.
Right.
Next question for you, Ethan. This one comes from at Film Somethings on Instagram, one of our most loyal and tried and true brothers in arms here, and they want to know, what is the easiest and what was the hardest episode to record? And I'd like to answer it. I'd like to answer that first. The easiest episode.
Having an interview with yourself, I like it.
Man, I need to.
And I would like to take the floor here.
Yeah, I have the floor. The easiest episode to record is the one that we just finished, and the hardest one to record is the one that we have to do next.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. That really is. The easiest one. Well, one of the easiest ones was with Drew on, though, when he asked because we didn't have to coordinate or plan that much. We allow him to kind of set it up, so that was pretty good. But yeah, the hardest one's always the next one on deck. But
it's just it's hard to plan and figure out a time to sit down a lot of times.
The hardest time we've had a few times where it's really difficult to find a topic. And I'm sure out there you're probably thinking, I don't know, I wonder if the people think it's difficult to keep, if they're surprised that we have stuff to talk about still, or if they think that we're not even scratching the surface.
I don't know. I don't even know what my opinion on that would be.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's tough for us to get ideas, right?
And it ebbs and flows. We'll hit it hard for a month, and we'll feel really good, and we'll have a lot of things that we want to talk about. And then other times, if you're short on time, or if it's just it's a busy time,
Q&A.
Just hammer that Q&A.
I mean, I guess sometimes a lot of people want us to go really deep into stuff, and when we are picking topics. We always talk about how you want to package it and how you want it to come across, for new listeners, right? We can't just get into the the deep cuts of why Jeff Ament should be, revered higher as a writer for the little bit that he's done,
And we get a lot of questions, people wanting to know when we're going to do an episode about Local H or Deftones or, and those are coming. I swear to God, they are coming, but there's a lot.
They'll make it through.
There's a lot to do. But I think we intend on sticking around for a little while. So
I would like to do some more. I was thinking about I think that we should take episodes and just, if we want to do an episode on Modest Mouse, we do it. And it doesn't, and we want to do an episode on, Love Battery would be easy, or Failure, and just pick random bands and maybe do 20 minutes on it and kind of pair it with something else. So I think you might be able to see that coming in the future, where we go to bands that are just, maybe newer bands that we want to talk about. And because it's a music podcast at the end of the day, it doesn't have to be the same as the Instagram page.
Yeah, absolutely. Next question for you, Ethan.
Okay.
And this is a really good one. If a college course called Grunge Studies was offered, would you apply to teach it?
That's pretty cool. Man, I don't know. Do you have the teacher in you, Chris? Do you think that you could be a teacher?
I've always pondered it. I think I would be all right at it. I just don't know that I would want to do it.
It would be I was actually thinking about this earlier. It would be really fun to build a curriculum for that.
That would be
right?
really cool.
Because like obviously, if you're a teacher, like I mean, unless they give you one, if they give me one, that'd be really easy because we already know it and stuff. But it would be kind of fun, like if we had to pick out like what's the most important thing you need to know, and like how do you get your degree, like.
Right.
That would be,
like, what does the exam look like?
I mean, a lot of it for me, if I had to give out homework and stuff, it would just be like, I'd have them go to a website and be like, you have to listen to like this many hours this week. Like it would be less of a, say a writing. Well, you'd have to write about it, but you'd have to really put the time in. It's like reading books, you got to read this book, like you got to go home and listen to these albums. But it would be a lot of fun. That's a good one.
Yeah, that is a really, really good one.
We should make one.
We should just that thing, I forget if it's Skillshare or something like that everybody like sells out to and like has like their like the first intro for the webinar is free and then you have to pay. Like we should do Grunge University.
Chris, could we make an online class?
We need to do the online class. We definitely have to make an exam. We maybe some presentations too. I
love it.
Yeah.
Let's come back to this. Let's think about this and figure out.
I'm only going to do it if while we do the presentations, if we can heckle people.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
have everybody come in on Zoom. What if we had a big conference? We have a live conference. That would be.
I like that. That would be really good. We could throw virtual tomatoes at people. So,
next question for you, Chris. What's your most anticipated concert that you're seeing this year?
Oh, man.
Question was asked by Dylan Coates, and they said Counting Crows, which is awesome. I have not ever seen them. Did you go to see them, or did he cancel?
No. So I was going to see them in I think August of 2021, but then the show was canceled because there was a COVID or sickness outbreak within the band. So I missed them, but they're coming to Providence in July at like a small little venue, which I took a screenshot of the kind of the poster for it because I'm intending to get tickets for it. That would be one that I'm really excited for. I'm seeing the Front Bottoms on May 26th for the 10th anniversary tour of Talon of the Hawk. I'm very excited for that one. And then I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, but I'm going to see Bruce Springsteen twice, once with a couple of my really, really good friends from high school and once with my mom, back-to-back shows in late August. So I'm looking forward to all of those. And inevitably, I'm looking forward to the show to be named later that we get to this year, because I think we got to get to some music together, brother.
Right. I would say it's hard to say because we don't have anything mapped out past probably, I don't know when the last ticket you have is, but I don't even know if
I'm
I have
a little
any
slow
tickets
moving
on deck
this year compared to last year. Last year I had a lot of stuff lined up. I was going on, I saw like 4 or 5 or 6 shows just in June alone last year. So, but who knows? I mean, these situations can evolve very rapidly.
Oh yeah, we know that works.
Yep, that they do.
I think someone said they have an extra ticket to a Fleet Foxes show here in Avondale, which I don't know if you ever listened to them, but they're really cool.
I used to talk to a girl who was obsessed with them and tried to get me into them. Yeah,
checks out.
Yeah, that does check out.
The Foo Fighters are also playing here June 6th, and one of my coworkers says like that we're going to somehow get tickets to it. And I don't know if I'm ready to pay a bunch, but maybe I
sold
should.
Out?
Yeah, I mean there's still tickets on secondary market. So,
yeah,
I'm sure it's sold out. Because it's like running like $200, I think. So we'll see. I've seen them, but I really would like to see them, obviously, and they're so close. So
yeah.
All right, but yeah, I actually need to I want to look up a few different people and bands and see where they're heading around and see if I can catch them. You know what I mean?
I like looking at them that way.
Traveling.
Right.
Yeah, and just be okay with traveling a little bit rather than waiting for them to come to me, because then I go to some subpar shows or something like that, or
totally.
if I go to the bands just because they're here, not subpar, but if I could spend my money and go somewhere else.
Yeah, you can expand the scope on that a little bit if you're able to you drive a little bit, and it's super fun to do that too, like to take like an hour or two drive and maybe stay over with a buddy or something and go see a show.
I'm sorry, I yawned and didn't hear you. What did you say?
That's all right. I was just waxing poetic about driving to music events.
Yeah, for a second I thought you asked me a question, but
No,
I was also reading one of
no
these.
question. Would you like me to ask you a question?
I would, yeah.
Oh, well, good thing I've got a lot of questions to ask. Here comes from a top-level Patreon supporter. Eddie Vedder got me through my second divorce, and Eddie Vedder got me through my second divorce wants to know, what is your favorite oven temperature? I like 375 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, I like 385.
You're 385?
I'm a 385 guy. Yeah, I like it
Wow.
a little bit hotter in there.
No kidding. And so for those international, 375 Fahrenheit is about 190 Celsius. So that's kind of in the mode. You know what? You know what I really like? I like 365.
Really?
Yeah. And sometimes, like when I cook chicken, I go 355.
That's crazy.
I go a little low.
Hey, that
like
is
the
low.
Cracker song.
Yeah. What I like to do is like for my salmon, I'll do 385 for like 20 minutes, and then you throw the broil on at the end for a little bit.
The broiler, I think, is the most underused tool that
well, you know
exists.
why?
People
It's
are
dangerous.
afraid. Yeah, people are afraid.
You take your eye off the bread for a second, it's gone.
That's
it's gone.
I'll tell you. Yeah, like you put any sort of like finishing topping with like a little sugar. If it caramelizes too quick, like boom, it's burnt. But yeah, salmon, chicken, anything like that, you finish it with the broiler. Oh yeah, that's the way to do it.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
I usually when I cook steaks, I use a cast iron because I don't have a grill. So I cook a little bit. You cook on stovetop
and then you sear it and then you finish it in the oven.
Yeah, but then you finish it in the oven at 450.
I do the same thing actually. You get a nice, just ripping hot sear. Yep. Toss it in the oven for a little bit because time's of the essence. Second you put that thermometer in, and if it's reading what you want it to be, like you've gone too far. You gotta live on the edge a little bit with steak.
Oh yeah. Oh, I like it red, man. I like it red on the inside. It's the only way.
Yeah, there's nothing more disappointing and just depressing than, you know, you buy a nice steak and you mismanage the process. We've all been there. And
there's only one person to blame.
Exactly. That was the worst thing. Like, man. I remember my first apartment in college, I moved in with two of my really good friends in Iowa. And none of us had really cooked that much. So, like, we had all started, and it's just like, man, like, you know, you cook stuff and you overcook it, you undercook it, you mess it up in one way or another, and it's like you have no one to blame but yourself, and like you kind of have to eat it as a reminder not to fuck up again.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Somehow we all walked away without salmonella poisoning, though, so that was we'll chalk that one up as a big win. I was very pleasantly surprised for that.
Yeah.
Here's a good one. This one, a question asking us of our Mount Rushmore of female-led bands / female solo artists from this era. I definitely, in an episode that I really want to do, is an episode on L7. Danita Sparks, I think, was absolutely incredible. Still is. Additionally, I think you could do an entire podcast series on Kim Gordon, from Sonic Youth and what they were all about. So I think, I mean, those two are very deserving of their due. And there were a lot of really, really talented artists, you know, from this era. And it was really cool. I mean, even solo artists, like they were saying, it was just, once again, it's just a really, really fantastic era of all types of music.
Yeah. I was blanking for a second. The Cranberries lead singer
Dolores O'Riordan,
yeah. I don't know if they would consider her grunge, but
right.
I do love the Cranberries. I love her voice, and she has a great story as well. So I was thinking about her when that question was brought up.
Yeah,
so maybe a little bit outside of the grunge, but
that's
still fits in the time period. So
yeah, I mean, like if we could talk about Jay Mascis, we can talk about the Cranberries.
Right,
you know?
right.
We can do whatever we want. Another one, obviously, I think it is important to mention Courtney Love and Hole and the music that they were able to make. And somebody asked us, I believe the wording was, what is your professional opinion on Courtney Love? And I said to you before the show, I'm not a professional, so I don't have a professional opinion, but I like Hole, and I think people are just so unbelievably vile to Courtney Love, and always it's always really frustrating to post whole or to post anything having to do with Kurt's death, because you just get the most vile comments about Courtney, you get the most vile comments about conspiracies that are completely baseless, and it's really frustrating, and I think it's really disrespectful to the people that are directly involved. And it's disrespectful to Kurt, but I mean especially Courtney. I mean, people are probably some of the worst comments that we've gotten have been about Courtney Love, which really I don't believe anybody really deserves. So that is my opinion, that everybody should put their foot in their mouth if they decide that they want to spew some really, really vile things on our page. Yeah. They can go do that somewhere else.
And they probably will if they're looking for it. So
yeah, exactly.
That's on them.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to find other places to do it. So,
all right, got a good one. We got a guitar solo competition here.
Oh my goodness!
McCready, Cantrell, and Dial.
Oh my god!
Who wins? I love the question. Just you get the three in a solo. Who wins?
Oh my goodness!
This is tough. What is it going to be judged on?
But it all depends on the judges. Exactly. Like, what merits are we judging these on?
Endurance. Are we talking about some speed? Are we talking about
if it's speed, it's Kim.
It's Kim, right?
If it's
Mike, I'm sure that but Kim definitely has that in his game.
Got that market cornered because that's the thing, that with Kim there's no wasted movement. It's unbelievable. He's so precise. I mean, it's the same thing like the javelin throw. I mean, like his approach down the runway and his there's no wasted energy. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Which, like, I mean, that's a hard thing to do. He just stands there. I mean, but like then again, like Mike has the showmanship and the bravado of
Mike
when he looks skyward, he's playing behind his back. I mean,
Mike doesn't shy away from the light. He comes out on the big stage when it's time, and he's always ready to perform.
He is not. I mean, and Jerry has just done everything forever.
Right.
So I mean, he's the
musician's musician, just like we were talking about earlier. That's who everybody likes.
Yeah, it's like the greatest baseball pitchers of all time. First inning, fifth inning, ninth inning, 12th. Doesn't matter. You put them in, and they're gonna mow them down.
Yep. You need me to start, I'll start. You need me to close, I'll close.
Anything. I pitched yesterday. You need me again today? Fine. Like, let me go warm up. Like, so it's really difficult. It all depends on what the criteria are for judgment. But I feel like we have to pick.
I think we have to pick. And this is tough because we've seen Jerry and we've seen
I've never seen Kim Thile.
We've never seen Kim, so this is unfair for Kim. So I'm gonna take him out of this because I was leaning toward the other two, but I've seen them, so maybe that's why.
Yeah. So my logic. So if we're gonna cut, you just cut yours to Cantrell versus McCready. Yeah. Mine, and just hear me out. Okay. I think Jerry is going to occupy more of the riff zone than the solo zone for this exercise. Yeah. So I'm putting Thile versus McCready here.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
So
Jerry, I understand.
But he can do everything. That's the thing. Okay, so it's hard. It's a tough call, but I feel like it's the call that I have to make.
So we both have McCready in our final two, which means McCready, I think he's come out on top for us. If you take the two what we just talked about, he's the only one that we both picked to be. So I'm thinking McCready might have the edge on these guys for the showmanship, because that's what solos are.
Allow me to submit my rebuttal, though.
Of course, that's why we're here.
Of Mike McCready and Kim Thile, only one of them wrote the song "Never the Machine Forever."
Chris, I'm glad you brought that up, because if you guys were listening to the last episode that we recorded not only 2 days ago or 3 days ago, Chris said that he was going to check back in after he spent more time with Never the Machine Forever. Right. So, Chris, we're all here to find out what have you found on your deep dive into this wondrous song.
This is exactly why that I shouldn't be the teacher for Grunge University, because I didn't even do my own homework assignment. I'd flunked the class. I have not had time to check it out, but as we recall, we wanted to check into it because of the quote that Kim had about the song, and he wrote it, that it was about a struggle between somebody and a less defined entity. And yes, it was a true story.
Remember in literature class when, you'd have those books or you'd have those really weird short stories you had to read, or
Right.
like, the art class, or just like a lot of like deciphering and stuff. I feel like we could do that in our class. We'd be like, okay, we need like Never the Machine Forever. Like you need to come out with like a really good like thesis on it.
Totally.
or Rats or Red Mosquito. Like, the different songs that we could put people on to come out and do a presentation on would be really fun. Imagine what we'd get like coming back. It could be pretty cool.
That would be really cool. But also the flip side of that, do you remember when you were in literature class and, it'd be like, all right, like we have to have like X amount read because we're going to have a discussion on Thursday in class. And then you get the people in there that clearly had not read, but would engage in the discussion nonetheless because you had to for your participation credit. So I just picture the same thing happening. Like if we were to assign Bugs or Never the Machine Forever or Overfloater.
I have a
people who just hadn't read it would just try to extrapolate.
I have an awesome story that you're going to love, Chris.
Yeah, so please.
When I first transferred to Kentucky, I was in a horror film class, and it was actually one of my favorite classes I took in college. Yes, the teacher was like mid 40s to 50s. He wore like Thrasher t-shirts. He always had a mug of coffee, like a stained mug and stuff, and he was great, and he was a thinker, and like we had like such good conversations about in that, and the genre of horror is really in depth and really
totally
it has a lot. All the storylines and all the writing is it's all based on symbolism and the different like stuff that you see pop up. It's really cool and really deep, and you have great conversations. And for our final, there's another member of the throw squad that was with us, and basically the prompt for this was it was talking about, say, Dracula or a couple, and it asked why something was a watershed moment in the film industry or in the one movie. Something happened. It was like, why is this like a watershed moment?
Sure.
And my teammate came up and she said something, and she's like, I didn't even read it or something. Like I just wrote about, and she like talking about watershed as like a geographic, like it's just talking about it as like a flood or something. And like watershed is like a watershed moment is like, bringing to light, or like
it's like a paradigm shift. Like it changes things.
Yeah. They change it. And she like wrote this whole paragraph based on like this word, like the one word, because it was like, that was what it, and she didn't know what it meant. And she wrote the whole thing on like,
so she took a swing and
had to look so dumb. Yes.
I read it. It was a bunch of fluff too.
Yes. It was terrible. I was like laughing so hard. I was like, this is like completely wrong.
Oh,
I was like, it's
my goodness.
Yeah. She just laughed and was like, oh, I don't care. But it was really funny.
That's amazing. So well, just as some could say that me segueing last week with speaking of Jesus Christ was a watershed moment for the for my skills as a podcast host. Exactly. So next question, Ethan. Do you have a favorite Tad song?
Throat Locust.
It's gotta be Throat Locust.
I think that was the highest on our top 100.
Yeah, there's really no need to have a discussion.
So speaking of Tad, made me think of the Melvins, and I was listening to some Melvins the other day, and I realized that we left this song off that I actually really like. And it's what is it, Civilized Worm, I believe it is.
Oh, I love Civilized Worm.
Yeah, we didn't put that on our top 100. Man. I'm bummed. I love that song so much.
We'll just have to revisit it and regurgitate it.
Can we do
time.
A whole episode on it, on Civilized Worm and Throat Locust?
I think we could. We just pit them against one another. That would be another watershed moment for the podcast.
That's good.
Next question here. Unrelated to music, but I really like this question. What would your last meal be?
Oh yeah.
So presumably, you're a marked man, you're on death row, and your time is coming. Wait.
I'm on death row. It's not like I'm old age.
Well, I'm thinking. Well, you don't know when you're old age. I mean, at that point, it's all going to be soup, anyways, right?
Say protein
and we know
shake.
how we feel about soup around here.
I love soup. I know you hate soup.
Yeah, I don't know. It's no longer soup season, so.
Well, yeah. I'd like to think that a time of, or how, like if I'm really old, or maybe if I'm right now, like it could change. But I would say that I want lobster, probably.
Really?
Probably want some
Okay.
lobster. I might go lobster. And I mean, lobster and steak sound really good. Always like it's just something hearty, something that's not going to like, go down fast. Like something that I can just kind of, I mean, lobsters would be quick, but I don't know, something that would take a while probably.
Yeah, like definitely gotta have a bunch of courses in there.
Yeah. Like I want to have to like cut something up and like actually.
Yeah,
What about you, Chris?
I need to be sitting it on a table that gives you like 4 forks and like all the silverware spread, all the different plates. You would just work your way in, work your way down. Maybe a little bib situation. Oh man, I think mine would be if I could choose the venue, I would go to the Old Canteen, which is an Italian restaurant on Federal Hill in Providence, Rhode Island. I would go there for the big meal. They start you off. You get a little bread with some oil, then you get the antipasto, you get the soup, you get the salad, and then you get your entree. I'd probably maybe do some veal or maybe the pork with vinegar peppers. It would be hard to choose, but I would definitely be going Italian for sure.
Yeah, Italian sounds really good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like you can't just say pizza. Like imagine.
No, you gotta get some skin in the game, spend some time. It's so great. Like when we go, like we'll do like the full courses. My friends and I, and like we're there for 4 hours. It's great. You're drinking a little bit. Like it's dude. Like time stops. You go in there, and that's the activity for the afternoon or the evening. And we've gotten to know the guys there too. So it's like we get treated well, and you that's the thing. It's the old school. You show respect to an institution, and it will respect you back.
Got the owner coming up and say, "How's everything going? Everybody good? You all good?
Do you need anything?" And they mean it. Like
tell
when you
your
go
parents
places,
I said hello.
Yeah, like you go to places and like, "Oh, do you need anything?" But they don't mean it, because if you need something, they're not helping you. But like something like that, they're like, "Do you need something?" They will listen.
Chris, name a restaurant that gets under your skin. What's one that you just will refuse to go to for whatever reason because you've had bad experiences, and when you go there, you seem to have a bad experience? Do you have one that you want to throw under the bus?
I don't know that I've had bad experiences, but you know me, I'm always excited to throw something under the bus.
Yeah.
I would definitely throw like the Olive Gardens, the Bertucci's, the Carrabba's. What's the other one? Like
Carrabba's?
The Macaroni Grill. Yeah, it's all bullshit.
No, Macaroni Grill is bullshit. Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, bunch of malarkey. Cheesecake Factory, I despise.
Yes,
hate
totally.
Cheesecake
Yeah,
Factory.
we're throwing
and honestly,
that one
P.F.
away.
Chang's too. Carrabba's is decent. Carrabba's.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, it's not like it's not like the best, but
I'm spoiled, and like my mindset and my experience is like I've grown up around so much good Italian food here in Rhode Island, and Boston's got it too. I mean, there's so many places that for me, like, I mean, it's kind of like an affront to the culture.
Of course.
It's
tough, I think it's easy.
Yeah, I'm not too keen on as well. But I don't know if I would throw them under the bus. I'm just not a particularly big fan. Chick-fil-A.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's surprising.
I don't see what the big deal is.
Have you had their salads?
I have had their salads. Like the Cobb salad I've had the other
Southwest salad is... Yeah. It's so good. You get an extra filet on that with the Southwest. That's hard. Yeah. That's really good.
Trust me. Like I've tried it. I've tried the breakfast, and like it's good. It is good, but I think it's...
Compared to other fast foods?
Well, it all depends on what you're in the mood for. I mean, they're fairly unique in that sense, right? Like if I want a burger,
I mean, it sticks out. It sticks out when you compare to fast food, and that's where it lives.
If I'm doing fast food, like I'm not getting, I'm not gonna get chicken usually.
Really?
No,
I mean,
really.
I'm kind of the opposite. I like well for a while because I didn't eat fast food. I've eaten more fast food recently.
Mm-hmm.
For a while, I didn't eat like any fast food, and if I did, I got chicken because I didn't trust the burgers.
Yeah,
like I hated like there's all that shit about the burgers out there.
People are talking.
Yep, there's big burger out there.
Well, that's the thing because like I probably like I'll have some like. Depending on what I get into on some certain weekends, but like usually I'll go like a few months in between like without having something. Yeah. But like if I'm craving something like that, it's usually going to be like a burger or something. I don't really crave like chicken.
I'll throw my restaurant under the bus, but before I do that, I'll say I've been Steak and Shake is
Yes.
Really good dirty burger. I like getting
Yeah,
that.
totally.
I mean, we got Whataburger here, which is also good, but Steak and
I
Shake.
like
And honestly,
Whataburger.
dude, yeah, I hate to say it, but Taco Bell still got it. They still got it, dude.
Tried and true. Have you had their breakfast?
No, I have not tried their
I've had their
breakfast.
breakfast. It's pretty awesome.
Dude, Taco Bell is good, man. I mean, there, I said it. It's like Creed, dude. Creed and Taco Bell. People will make fun of them, but you know, when you go through that drive-through at 12:30 at night,
yep,
you see everything. Yeah, everybody's there. It's a
like when Hyatt comes on, you're gonna be tapping your foot.
But the restaurant that I want to throw under the bus, and of course went there this weekend. I tried to tell everybody. I said that we were out in Cleveland, Tennessee for track meet, and we needed food right after. And there was a Shake Shack, and then there was this place, and I was like, guys,
please, Shake Shack.
Yeah, I was like, please, Shake Shack. I was like, if you guys want to go, give it another shot, but I know what's going to happen. And sure enough, Buffalo Wild Wings sucks.
Oh yes, I totally agree.
Hate Buffalo Wild Wings. It's always overpriced. And now they used to do was just
they used to do BOGO on Tuesdays or something.
Well, they do, and of course that's what people say. I mean, and BOGO of course is nice. That's right. Helpful.
It's the only time I would go.
But what they used to do was like just absolutely douse the wings in sauce, like too much. I don't even know if they put sauce on. I couldn't tell. It was all naked wings. I got 3 different flavors, and I couldn't tell them apart. It's like no sauce, super expensive. The wings are just super small Tyson frozen wings, you know what I mean? They're just small, and there's a million TVs around with nothing on. Felt like it was a bad night to go because you go there for the TVs, but I had it was just another bad experience. But I knew it was coming, and walk out the door spending $30 and get disappointment.
It's so tough too because like every single local community I feel like has a local restaurant that does wings so well.
Definitely in our area. In the Northeast, there's really good dive bar wings everywhere.
Yeah,
and because that's not the case here. Because I said something, and Justin, like, I mean, there's the wings aren't, and it's weird because there's barbecue, and so there is like smoked wings that people have smoked wings that are really good.
It's different,
but up north, you can get the wings like.
Oh man, I love a good. Yeah, I always get them well done. Like, ooh, yeah,
well done. I've never asked for wings well done.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah, I like that. I like to get my pizzas well done too, a little crisp on them. But that's the thing, like up in the Northeast, I don't have to tell you. Obviously, like we've got, all of the great delis, for some good hoagies. All the bakeries. Like if pastry is your kind of thing too. Like I mean, you just like my brother lives in North Carolina. He's like, you guys have bakeries on every corner. You can get all the Italian pastries and the cannoli and the sfogliatelle, all that stuff. Like you can't get that. You don't get that in North Carolina. You don't get that in Birmingham. So
nothing like it. Yeah.
The Northeast is definitely the place to be for.
I agree. Food
for the food versatility. I would certainly say. But yeah, I totally agree. Buffalo Wild Wings has got to be one to throw under the bus. So we've had a little bit of everything on this episode. We've given our endorsements to people and bands and songs. We've gotten a little upset at some institutions. This Q&A has pretty much had it all.
Yes, it has. It's been fun. I like keeping it easy, taking it easy for all the sinners out there.
Peaceful, easy feeling, if you will.
It's got to be done, but I think it's time to wrap her up, Chris.
Yeah.
So the last thing we'll do is we will, in fact, have a song of the week to be put in the list. So, Chris, would you like to go first? Do you have one figured out?
Yeah, I would love to add my song of the week, and I've got a really good feeling that this one is already on the list, but it's our list, so I think we can make an exception and add it again. Ethan,
we've done that.
You're responsible for what my song of the week is going to be because of a post that you sent me earlier. But we're going back to Jackson Brown.
Hell yes.
We're going to Running on Empty for my song of the week, and it's
gotta be on the list.
Yeah, like I struggle to put the words, or to describe it because I mean the lyrics to the song. Have all of the explanation that you would ever need. And it's that line, I don't know when that road turned into the road that I'm on. And, it's tricky. And I think like we're getting to that like tricky age of life where that happens really, really quickly. And time goes by really, really fast if you're not careful. And it's not a bad thing. It's a neutral thing, and it's up to you how you want to employ it. But it is strange. It's like you're going to get somewhere, and it's a different destination, and you take one road to get there, and you blink your eyes, and that road turns into another one, and you're still there. But yeah, that's the one for me.
People tell you that you've changed. You said, no, I haven't. And then you think about it and you go, maybe I have.
Yeah. I changed by not changing at all.
That's true. That's a good one. I thought about putting Civilized Worm as my song of the week.
Excellent. I almost put Yellow Ledbetter, believe it or not.
Oh, that would have been good.
Yeah, I heard it in the car this morning.
So this song I sent to you, like maybe like 2 weeks ago or something. And it's very strange. It's not like, it's strange. And I don't even really know what else this guy's done, but the song is called Everyone's Free. And then in quotes or in parentheses is To Wear Sunscreen. It's by Quindon Tarver and Josh Abrams. And it's about 5 minutes of this. It's a kind of a soothing music, like lo-fi music. It came out in the 90s.
This one was great.
And it just has like a bunch of advice. Like he's just like spewing advice where he's like, let me pull up the lyrics. I got it right here. But the main thing is that I'll make sure to always wear sunscreen. But he says, he's basically said, I'm going to give you advice. You can take it or you can leave it. Do one thing that every day scares you. Sing, don't be reckless with other people's hearts. Don't put up with the people who are reckless with yours. And he just like continues talking and giving you pretty sound advice, like a lot of stuff that makes you think. And it's very nostalgic. I mean, it took me back to, for some reason, it like I thought about him talking about it in the 90s. And I think that helped make the song like stick out more because like we were talking about a couple episodes ago, songs are written in different ages and they're still relevant when you listen to them. And that is why music is awesome, because it doesn't matter the time or place. Usually it translates over to the time, place and place that you're in.
And it's so cool because like the delivery system sounds different, throughout the different genres and throughout the different scenes and throughout the different eras. But, the lessons in there, and this is kind of like a weird, like fun little song, but like some of the advice, is so good. Like, you're not as fat as you imagine. Don't worry about the future or worry, but know that worrying is as effective as trying to solve an algebra equation by chewing gum.
Yeah. I like this.
Yeah, this is so good.
Sometimes you're ahead, sometimes you're behind. The race is long, and in the end, it's only with yourself. Remember compliments you receive, forget the insults. If you succeed in doing this, tell me how. I love that.
Keep your old love letters and throw away your old big statements.
Yes. Stretch, don't feel guilty if you don't know what you want to do with your life. The most interesting people I know didn't know that at 22. What they wanted to do with their lives. Some of the most interesting 40-year-olds I know still don't know.
I'm posting this song as soon as we get done.
That line stuck with me because I'm 28. I'm 28 and I don't know what I want to do, but I do know that I'm building an interesting life, and I don't even know if I'll know what I want to do when I'm 40.
Yeah.
I think about that a lot, Chris, because I'm chasing this javelin dream, and I don't know what's after that.
Right, but
and people talk about 5-year plans, but it's so hard. You can't.
There's time enough to worry in the future. That's the thing, and all that matters is that you're on the road that you want to be on.
That's right. When I was 69, I was 21 and thought the road was mine. Exactly. Or Jackson Brown. So we'll post that one. That's a good one. That's definitely going on the list. I'm gonna listen to that tonight as I definitely lay in bed.
Yeah,
can't wait.
I'm totally doing that as soon as we send this to Drew.
But thank you very much. If you're still listening, you are a trooper. You're a real one, and you're the reason that we make these podcasts. So thank you, and we will be back next week with another episode. We promise that.
Always, yeah. Thanks for your questions. We hope that we answered yours, and if we didn't, better luck next time. We will try to answer it then. But thanks for spending the last hour with us. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to doing that again next week. So with that being said, I hope you all have a lovely week, and we will talk to you all very soon.
Rock and roll, fellas. See you next week.
Take care.